Cameron Diaz has a suggestion for married people that's got a lot of people talking. She says that this is a quote, we should normalize separate bedrooms. I don't want that confused with me. That's what she said. The actress has been married to musician Benji Madden for 8 years, who, by the way, she calls wonderful. But she opened up about giving each other space, literally, as she said, for the sake of good sleep.
Look, good sleep is really important,
as
we well know. I want to read part of what she said on the Lipstick on the Rim podcast. She said, quote, I have my house, you have yours. We have the family house in the middle. I will go and sleep in my room. You go sleep in your room. I'm fine. And when we have the bedroom in the middle that we can convene in for our relations. Is she onto something there? Let's discuss with psychotherapist, family therapist, and author Robi Ludwig. Thank you so much for being with us, Robi. Obviously, spouses can have different schedules, potentially a partner that snores, kicks, punches, does all sorts of things. That can cause problems in a marriage, right?
Well, absolutely. And also there are other problems that can happen when somebody gets less than their 7 or 8 hours sleep. They can be more vulnerable to certain medical conditions like diabetes or cardiovascular issues, even dementia. And also our mood can suffer, making us more irritable and difficult to get along with. So there are a lot of reasons why sleep is so important, but I don't know that people necessarily need to sleep in different beds in order to achieve good sleep hygiene.
It's interesting because you have to weigh different things, right? And to your point about being irritable, I was reading up on this. This was so fascinating, this conversation she started. And it was talking about how when people are tired, they can be really terrible when it comes to arguing in a marriage, right?
Yeah.
They're not productively dealing with issues that they have in the marriage.
They can be more triggered, angrier, and they found also less empathic. So you may be plugging into your partner in a less empathic way, which is which can contribute to increased arguments. And of course, if your mood is stable and you're feeling like you're happier, you're more open to your partner and managing crisis resolution better, or just the resolution of everyday living. But I want to make it clear that sleep divorce, and I don't really like that name because it suggests, divorce sounds so dire, but we want to achieve sleep compatibility. So it doesn't need to be an all or nothing solution. If you have a big business meeting, or if you find during the week it's really important for you to have good sleep, you can find that you maybe have separate sleep for a period of time and then sleep together on the weekends. You just want to make sure that your intimacy as a partner doesn't suffer. So I think that's really important here, that you find time to be intimate, share, and connect with one another if you find your sleep schedules are not aligned.
Intimacy is incredibly important,
yes.
Right? Yeah. But I am curious. You mentioned that you don't like the term sleep divorce. Is something like this potentially an omen that it's not meant to be, that maybe there are deeper issues in the relationship that need to be addressed?
I mean, it certainly can mean that, and that's something that a couple can explore with a therapist. There also can be medical conditions that underlie not being able to sleep throughout the night. There are certain medications that also can increase insomnia. So I think it makes sense to explore medically, psychologically, and if there are any medications first. And then if you find that there's no medical reason for it and there doesn't appear to be some psychological conflict underlying the separate sleeping issues, then you can figure out a plan that makes sense for both of you in terms of your partnership. And it's not one size fits all. I think that's what's really important here, that each couple can come up with their own solution that works for them.
Yeah.
And you mentioned intimacy, and that's all kinds of things. That's also the discussions that people have even just as they're going to bed. If couples do have to at times not sleep in the same room, how can they make sure that they're maintaining that? Because that is obviously something that can get lost here, Dr. Ludwig.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that you're disclosing with your partner and sharing intimate conversations, that you make sure that your life outside of the bedroom is special and that you're sharing special time together.
Might be tough to have this conversation with who I share my bed with. It's a 90-pound Rottweiler, and I don't think she would take it well if I was just like, yeah, we're sleeping separately now.
Yeah.
A story for another day. Dr. Robi Ludwig, thank you so much for the time. Appreciate it.